The following module is one part in a series developed by the Quality Improvement Core for the National Maternal and Child Health Workforce Development Center. This module will introduce the project charter. By the end of this module, learners will be able to define a project charter, list the benefits of using a project charter, define key components of a project charter, and finally, identify ways to successfully create a project charter. One of the first steps to launching a project is to clearly define it. A project charter is a tool that can help your team document a clear vision and purpose for your project. The term project charter may be an unfamiliar term. Think back to your high school history class. When a colony was established in America, why did the British government issue a charter? The charter outlined the conditions under which the colony was established, described the boundaries of the colony, and defined rights and privileges. A project charter operates similarly, as it provides a snapshot of the project, summarizes the purpose and scope of the project, secures resources needed to carry out the project, and gives authority to begin work. A project charter often includes these key components: the project aim, which includes measurable goals and objectives, project deliverables, project scope, project team, project stakeholders, and project sponsor sign-off. Let's quickly define and discuss each component in more detail. The project aim section answers the question, what are we trying to improve? And helps establish a clear vision for the project. It defines the problem to be addressed, the specific target population, and by when the project will be completed. The aim also explains the importance of the project and articulates the overall goals and objectives of the project, including both outcome and process measures. The project deliverables section answers the question, what products will be produced as a result of this project? The words used in this section should be nouns or things, not verbs or actions. For example, the project may produce educational materials, a sustainability plan, written policies, etc. Once key deliverables are identified, a high-level timeline can be created to communicate by when these key deliverables should be completed. Often, your team may not know all deliverables until the process or system has been assessed and the opportunities for improvement identified. The project scope section answers the question, what can we accomplish given the timeline and resources? It sets boundaries for the project and allows your team to communicate what will be accomplished during the given time frame and what will not be accomplished. Establishing scope creates common understanding between your team and the project sponsor, so there are no surprises. The project team section answers the question, who will carry out the project? And how will we work together to carry out the project? This section helps to clearly identify the team, the specific roles and responsibilities of each team member, the expectations of the team as a whole, and any ground rules by which the team agrees to operate. The project stakeholder section answers the question, who will be impacted by this project, or who can influence this project? Impact and influence can be positive, such as being willing to promote the project, or negative, such as resisting a project and being unwilling to provide resources. Thinking through the impact and influence allows your team to identify how best to communicate with each stakeholder to gain buy-in, if needed, and how to keep stakeholders engaged throughout the project. The project sponsor sign-off section shows the senior leader manager agrees with the outlined project and is committed to providing resources and resolving barriers. Many project teams often view a project charter as busy work and have a tendency to jump to implementation without planning. Failing to plan can lead to an unsuccessful project. Using a project has several benefits. First, it is a planning tool that helps your team think about details of the project and clarify assumptions. The quote, "How a project ends has a lot to do with how it starts," sums up the benefits of using a charter to plan. The charter also serves as a touch point throughout the project. With clearly defined deliverables and boundaries, your team can use the charter to maintain focus and avoid scope creep. The charter is also a concise communication tool. It can be given to stakeholders and external partners to explain and orient them to the new project. To begin to create your charter, remember these tips. Draft the charter and review it with your entire team. Walk through each section of the charter and allow everyone to contribute their ideas. Use the discussion to clarify assumptions and define the specifics of the project. Limit the page length of the charter to no more than 2 pages. Remember, it is a concise executive summary of the project. By reading the charter, someone unfamiliar with the project should be able to quickly give a high-level explanation of the project. If needed, you can attach appendices that include more detailed information about timelines, measurement plans, and communication plans. The charter is a dynamic, living document that can be updated as new information becomes available about the project. For example, as you learn about what is needed to improve your process, you may identify additional deliverables to include, or your team may realize the need to include an additional goal. Finalize the charter and ask all stakeholders and the project sponsor to approve it before launching the project. This will ensure that everyone is on the same page. It is important to review the final charter with the sponsor in person in order to answer questions and clarify assumptions. If at any point the aim, timeline, scope, etc. changes, it is important to review these changes with stakeholders and the sponsor to get their approval. Now let's try it. What is your next project? How can you use a project charter to help clearly define your project? I encourage you to use the link on this page to check out the Quality Improvement Step-by-Step Guide, where you will find links to the charter template worksheet and examples. Thanks for listening.